Hello everyone. I welcome you to the lecture series of technical communication. Today we are going to start with lecture 11, which is about CV and resume writing. So we are going to learn how to draft a CV or resume, or what things should be included in a CV or resume. Also, I will be stating the difference between CV and resume, although especially in India, we use it interchangeably. So let us start. First of all, I will tell you that what we are going to discuss in this particular video, that is, we are going to discuss what is a CV or curriculum vitae or resume. What are the guidelines for writing a good resume? What is the format of a CV or you can say resume? Types of CV, and finally job application or cover letter which is attached with CV or a resume. A CV, whose full form is Curriculum Vitae, is a detailed document where it outlines all of your life achievements, whatever achievements you have done in your entire life. So it is a sum up of that. Then your qualifications, your educational qualification, your technical qualification, your professional communication is being stated in a CV. Associations, if you have particular association with somebody, any awards that you have bagged or earned, any skills that you have developed, that is a CV. It means course of life in Latin. So this is a Latin term which means course of life. Now, resume. A resume which is spelled as this, that means with accents. This, the arrow going up is with accents. Is a more concise document as compared to CV. This is a concise document because here you are providing a summary of what profile you have done, what work you have done. So you are basically defining every skill set in a very refined and in a concise manner, not elaborating it much. An employer can have a look what you have achieved so far. An abbreviated version of your CV that focuses on specific skills. Now it zooms on or specifies the skills and achievements that you have gained, usually in relation and relevant to an employment opportunity. Whatever the position you are going for, or whatever company you are going, or whatever organization you are going for, it is mostly related and relevant to that. However, for the sake of this page, the term CV and resume will be used interchangeably. Now, there are certain countries where these terms are prominently used. Like in UK and Ireland, job applicants usually use CV. So they produce a CV. They usually use the term CV for the resume, or CV goes same. Whereas if we talk about US and Canada, there the word resume is frequently used. And now if we talk about our country, that is India, as well as Australia and other English speaking countries, either term may be used. So you must have seen somewhere we say CV, somewhere we say resume, because we use it interchangeably. But there is a thin line of difference between these. We use it for the purpose of applying for a job. CVs and resumes are the same thing. It just depends where the job is. So depending on the company, depending on the employer, you produce you rewrite or do editing in your resume or CV. Now, I will tell you the difference between resume, CV and biodata. Resume is derived from a French word which means summary. So इसका मतलब ही summary है. Resume is actually a summary of what you have done so far. Curriculum vitae is a Latin word which means course of life. So whole course of life that is going on. And biographical data is called as biodata in short. So you must have heard that send me your biodata. So that is a short form of biographical data. It is used to apply resume. Resume is used to apply in middle or senior level positions when person is experienced. It is used to apply in private sector preferred by the freshers looking for a job. So a fresher will submit his CV where, because he does not have any skill set, but particular skill set only the skills that he has developed in his educational time. But since he does not have any work profile, how can he give a summary of his professional experience? Whereas in resume, he can state the summary of what work he has done. You will understand it with in next two slides where I have given a sample resume. You will understand what I'm trying to say here by giving a summary or stating your educational qualification or academic qualification. Biodata, whereas is used to apply in government sector, mostly you can see that government sector asks for a biodata. Research grants and other situations where descriptive essays are to be submitted. Resume in this, experience and specific skills is paid more weightage. So your work experience and your skills that you have developed so far is paid more weightage rather than the educational qualification. Whereas in a CV, because a fresher has only academic qualification with him, so in that case he puts more emphasis on his academic qualification because so far he has not acquired any professional qualification until unless he is stating only his internship period. So this is, it has a more bent on academic side. In biodata, age, gender, religion, hobbies are included, right? But they are usually not included in resume. Resumes include a work history, a brief educational history, and industry expertise with specific skills. CV is basically including the listing, ये list है actually of skills, degrees, professional accomplishments that you have backed or pursued. Biodata is more like a historical data of a person with a passport size photograph, which is an optional. Last one is resume does not exceed 2 to 3 pages of A4 size sheet, and it includes cover letter or job application as well. Whereas in CV, it can exceed from 2 to 3 pages. It can be more than 3 pages, and it includes including cover letter. Biodata usually is of 2 pages, and it does not contain any cover letter. Now, there are certain guidelines or tips that I will recommend you for writing a good resume. They are that resume should be well written. It should be divided into short and simple paragraphs. You have been time and again instructed that whenever we are doing technical writing, we should always divide the paragraphs into short. The sentences should be short and simple. Use of jargon should be avoided. It should be typewritten. It should provide all necessary information relating to the applicant's education and experience. Any personal information which is not directly, if the information is not directly related to the job or the organization or the employer who is interviewing you, there is no point of mentioning it in the resume. It should complete in all respects. Completeness should be there. Adapt your resume to your audience, whatever organization or company you are referring to. So you have to do little modifications every time you apply for a job. While writing a resume, it's important to use a basic font that is easy to read. Usually it is 11 point or 12 point, which is easy to read. So it is recommended to write in this font size, both for hiring manager and also for application management system. So these are certain tips which I have discussed with you for writing a good resume. Now I will proceed further to state the purpose of resume. We are writing a resume or a CV, but what is the purpose of resume? Why do we do it? Why do we send it? Why do we write it? Why do we write it error free, right? So resume CV is self-marketing tool. This you have to understand that it is a self-marketing tool. This is a very good term which you have to use while answering a question. So resume and CV is self-marketing tool because you having skill sets, a particular knowledge and expertise in the field, you are actually selling your skills to an organization. You're giving your services to an organization. So you are marketing because this is a document which describes everything about you, your expertise, what you are good at, what you can handle better, what qualities do you have, what projects you have handled. So you're kind of marketing your skills to the company. So it becomes a self-marketing tool. It needs to be taken with full seriousness. It should not be the case that resume is written like that. No, you have to be very particular while writing a resume. You have to be very specific while writing a resume. You have to apply all 7 C's of effective business writing, and I am going to discuss the same in the next video. It helps to pass the employer screening process. So सबसे पहले तो it passes the screening process. Screening process includes educational level, what education qualification you have achieved, are you eligible for the job or not, experience that you have, and things like that. So you are able to pass the employer screening process, then only the employer calls you for an interview. It also provides contact information. So it is very important to provide your contact information, because that is the only source by which an employer can contact you. So an up-to-date mobile number and email address is essential in a CV or a resume. It should be mentioned, clearly stated, up-to-date, uh, your contact information should be there. Also, it establishes you as professional person. See, resume is the first thing which is going from your side to an employer. So by reading resume, one can judge what the person is. If you have done so many grammatical errors in the resume, you have not written it properly, or you have fluorescized it using different fonts, which is not appropriate for writing, right? So what impression it will give to employer, that this person is not serious. If the fonts, or you have done so much editing or effects, you have put so much effects on the resume, so the employer will think that this is a very fancy kind of person, and I don't think so that he will be best suited, or she will be best suited to our company, because of his bent of mind, or her bent of mind towards creativity. Maybe some creative jobs must be offered to him. Or else, if your resume is error free grammatically, it is so presentable, one can, if one reads the information, he gets everything, that what kind of person he gets at. Actually, it creates a picture of you in front of his eyes or her eyes. So it is something which you can say first impression is the last impression. So this gives you a first impression that the written communication skills of this person are good. That means his communication or her communication skills must be good. One can judge from the resume. So this is the first document which an employer is having in his hand to judge you, what kind of person you are, how serious you are, right? So this establishes you as a professional person with high standards, also shows your excellent writing skills. Format of a resume or CV. See, there are different lists or sections, you can say, in a resume. This can be some of them can be added or deleted. More can be added, and some of them can be deleted as per the need of the resume. So number one is contact information, utmost important. This is the only way a person can contact you. Objective, if you have certain goals, some objective in your life, or personal statement that or you expect something from the company, then you can state an objective in the resume. You state your educational qualification, your professional experience, technical qualification, extracurricular activities that you have participated in, any references if you have, and personal details. Some minimum personal details are being mentioned in a resume. Now, I am going to show you a sample resume. So have a look. First of all, we have mentioned about the name and then the contact information. As I said, it should be on the top of the page. It is not necessary to be in the center. It could be at the left side as well, or could be at the right side. Most appropriately, we use at the left side or in the center. We try to avoid it at the right side because of our focus of the eyes. So here you give your email ID, your phone number. That is very, very important. So writing a mobile which is active and is up to date is very, very essential. Then, as I said, an objective or personal statement: to work in an organization which provide me the opportunity to enhance my expertise. So this kind of objective is being written. Then work summary, what work a person has done. So I'll read one for you. Worked as data analyst in clinical research in biometric department for Professor Limited from this time to this. So a summary is there, that job position was this, company is there, time period is this, right? After that, education qualification is being stated, any professional qualification that you have taken, like any diploma in learning language or something. Then technical skills summary, what operating systems you are comfortable with, languages that you know, web technologies, and various other domains where you can specify in your resume. Then little bit of personal details have been mentioned, maybe your date of birth, languages known, hobbies. This can be plus or minus, right? So this is one of the sample. There could be different ways to write resume, because there are different kinds of resumes actually. I will discuss it later in this video only. So there could be different formats. It is not that this is the one format that everyone adheres to. If you uh, take five resumes, the five resumes will differ from each other, right? So now I have also stated here a sample biodata. Why? Because you should not get confused between a resume or a CV. You have seen what kind of resume or CV is, what is resume and a CV and how it is framed. Now you see what is a biodata, how biodata is framed. You have seen that in resume or a CV there was no space for picture. Although if it is a requirement for a company, you definitely take your pictures along with you and you paste it or you hand it over to the HR. That is optional, and that depends on the requirements being asked from a company. But in a biodata, usually you find that a picture should be pasted here. There is a column for picture, then post applied name of the applicant and basic details of the person, where father's, mother's name. It is not necessary in resume and CV. Whereas in biodata, it is necessary to state different personal professional data. Biodata, because it is biographical data. Your biographical data is being stated. Then your educational qualification, permanent address, declaration, date, place, and all. This is also, you can have a different format if you see, if you refer to at different places. After that, I will discuss types of CV. So number one is chronological, other one is functional, and then combination. I will discuss it one by one. So chronological resume is, the word chronological stands for sequence. If I am talking about chrono means related to time. So time sequence hai. So word chronological means sequence. Information required in this type is usually arranged in a chronological order, preferably used by the job seekers with a strong, solid work history. And the sections that are included here are career objective, summary, educational history, personal data, work history. All these topics are being covered here. Okay. Functional resume, whereas functional resume focuses more on skills and strength rather than your chronological work history. It is used often by those who are changing their careers or who have gaps in their employment history. So it has the following sections that are objective, personal data, education, work experience, skills, and certifications. Now, if I talk about combination resume is a combination of both chronological and functional. That means you have to state work history as well as you have to list all the skills and experience that are there. So a combination resume lists skills and experience first, and then it tells about the employment history. So yeah. So this type of resume highlights the skills that are relevant for the job applied for and also provide chronological history that employees prefer. Now, the last part of this video, that is application, job application or cover letter. This is a very important thing which is attached with resume. This is not a substitute for resume, but is an attachment for resume, where an applicant draft an application letter and sends it along with resume to let the reader know what is sent, why it is sent, what is being sent, resume, and why, what is the purpose of sending it, how can it benefit the sender by reading it. Now, guidelines for preparing a job application is you should avoid phrases like to whom it may concern. So you don't like phrases like this, to whom it may. You should be specific when you are stating things. You should avoid repetition. You should be specific and mention your salary if asked. That means that is optional. Now there are two types of job application. One is solicited, another one is unsolicited. Solicited job application letter you send at that time when a job is being posted or advertised. Any announcement or advertisement is done at that time, you send a solicited application letter. Whereas unsolicited application letter you send when there is no job announcement or advertisement that has been posted. So that is deliberately out of your curiosity or out of your need that you have posted a resume in a particular company, right? So I will move on to the sample application letter where you are going to state the sender's address, that means yours address, after that date, after that receiver's address, the employer, and salutation, then the body part, and complimentary clause and the clause, where please note that you will always write enclosure resume because you are sending it along with resume. This is not the single document that you are going to send to your employer. You are always going to send, most important is resume. Along with resume you send job application letter so that a person can know what has been sent to an employer, right? So this was all about CV and resume. In the next video, I am going to discuss 7 C's of effective business writing, in which we will learn how can we write a document and what important things should be taken into consideration while writing any piece of document. Thank you so much.